Hey guys, this is May, and it's January 26th, and today is a big day as Neptune moved into Aries from Pisces. And even if you don't know a lot about the zodiac or astrology, it doesn't matter. This is good for you to know in general, as it has a lot to do with what's going on in the world theater at the moment. So I just wanted to point that out. And in this short video, I wanted to talk for a second, and I wanted to talk about this for a while, and that is the fiat currency. And I want you to look at the word fiat, and I want you to look at what you often see in the headlines. You'll see a word called Antifa. Now, take that word fiat and reassemble the letters, like what we do here when we decode language. And you will see right away that there you go. It's a fiat. And from my research and from what I've seen with the letter A is heavily related, along with G, to the secret societies, the Freemasons, the occult leaders. The A, if you look at the symbol of the Freemasons, it's not a compass. I know that's part of the cover in the front, but it's A and G, as in like GA, as in like Gaga, right? G is huge. It's the seventh letter of the alphabet. A is the first, is number 1 in Gematria. And so a lot of times the letter N is just N. And it's actually, the symbol is connected, is important and related to the way the zodiac, the ecliptical movements in the zodiac. It's an N could also be a Z. So, but not to trail off on that for us. I don't want to get sidetracked. So, fiat, Antifa. And what are you seeing? What are you seeing in the headlines, which we know what the headlines are, to create the headlines and to create unneeded stress to keep you in a state of fear and anxiety. But what do we see? Antifa says, ice out. Now, I did a video, I guess, a couple months back that actually was really, really big. It looked like it had a lot of views, which YouTube makes actually absolutely no sense to me whatsoever, as with its algorithms and how my reach is extremely limited. So on this video, it was titled Just Ice, right? Like pole ice, just ice as in justice, which we live in an upside down, inverted, mirrored world. So what's black is white and white is black, which is why the Freemasons love the checkerboard. It is duality, and it's also the inverted nature of this existence. So, having said that, ice out is interesting, as Neptune is a cold entity, waveform, if you will. It's an energy. These deities, these 7 deities above us, deities, gods, archons, archetypes, they orchestrate. Look at the word orchestrate, which has the word star in it. Orchestrate, strata. They orchestrate the theater that plays out in this black mirror in which we exist. So these 7 guys up there, I say guys, although, Venus and the moon are girls. So, which I do personify them to some extent. And that is a sort of, a sort of, perspective related to paganism and to the occult, but it's real. I mean, they influence everything going on, everything in your body, everything you experience that's scripted here, which was decided at the moment of your birth. And now Neptune, this has entered Aries, and the reason why it's monumental is that Neptune hasn't been in Aries since 1865. That is about the time when the last great reset was. And you will see this evident on other channels, and like my lunch break, which I don't watch a lot of, but I think it's very interesting, the architecture. You will see it in books, you'll see it in literature, you'll see, alternative literature, obviously. Like maybe Howdy Mikowski and some other great guy. I read a lot so that I can deliver to you what I read, and I also receive downloads from the solar system. And I knew today was going to be huge with Neptune moving into Aries. Aries is fire. Okay, it's cardinal, it's fire, it's right on the ecliptic. It's like the first of the brand new baby born. It's the head, it's the ram. So it's Mars's territory, and here comes Neptune, and he's cold. Just think of it like a waveform. Whatever we were brainwashed with, and conditioned with in this existence is upside down. It's irrelevant. Take it out of your head. It's not a floating rock, and it's billions of miles away. And by the way, none of these things can be billions of miles away. Therefore, all these astrologists, which is absolutely absurd that they would preach astrology and appear to be knowledgeable when they believe that there are floating rocks in a space, an endless space, even though we're really in a contained field, and that they would believe that they're billions of miles away and have any effect on you whatsoever. That's absolute stupidity. Absolute stupidity and ignorance. So that's why the Zodiac astrology that I research and that I cover and the readings that I do are based on the plane of existence, flat earth, or flat plane of existence, reality, consciousness, frequency. So as I was saying, Neptune in Aries is huge. So just imagine this cold waveform has entered into the house, into Mars's house, which is fire, and moved into Aries. So what do you see in the headlines with Antifa? How is it related? Fiat, and they want ICE out, right? Right? ICE, get out. Just like Pluto, Pluto also represents ice and represents cold. And they're not all cold. Venus is hot, and more on that another time. But right now, I want you to just see that my prediction is obviously that they're announcing this stuff. You already know, I'm sure, a lot of you, that the end result will be for the end of the game plan, if you will be for the fiat currency to come to an end, which is cash, and to enter into the digital state, all encompassing for one currency for one world. And so that needs to happen. And so this big ice storm has occurred, right? As Neptune enters Aries. It's all tied in. I just want to tell you, it's all related. It's all tied in. It's all connected. It's so obvious. Not to mention that there are other planets that are in Aquarius right now. We are in the age of Aquarius. We are in, this is Saturn's or Uranus's territory. And in Aquarius right now is Mercury conjunct which just means connected to Venus. And also is Mars has just entered, the fire god, the general. Okay, and the sun. It's the sun's time in Aquarius. So I don't know about you. Hopefully anyone listening is staying safe and warm. But it does feel, you can feel a turnover. You can feel the rebirth. You can feel the reset. There's always mini resets with full moons and eclipses, and I actually believe there's even personal resets that occur in tragedies and in sleep, as we are connected to a certain constellation called Coma 455, and I will talk more on that another time. But in this video, I just wanted to point out that the reason you're seeing all this in the headlines, and the reason gold soared today, as the sun is in Aquarius representing gold and Mars, and you are witnessing all of these monumental events that they're talking about, and I think they're talking about the government shutting down, is all related to what's going on in the zodiac, what's going on in the sky, which is just, it's just a wheel in the sky that is scripted, and it's just playing out the theater before our little virtual reality headset eyes. And that's the black part of your eyes. Look at your eye and look at a TV or a phone. It's the same. It's exactly the same. So what we're seeing playing out before us today on the January 26th is after, I think it's about, what, 2011. So 15 years or 14 and a half years, Neptune being in Pisces, water, has now entered into Aries. And that is a lot of what's going on with this ice out. And that is related to just ice and pole ice. And I would point that out again as in this inverted world, we were always conditioned as children to believe that hell was hot and fire. And now I don't want to say that we are in hell, but you know, there's a lot of suffering here, and I don't want to be negative, but you can still have all your dreams. All amazing things can still happen. There's love, there's beautiful things in this world. However, there's a lot of hellish around us. That is the polarization of this existence, isn't it? And we as spiritual beings, we fight the good fight, and we want to fly, we want to rise, we want enlightenment. We are the Illuminati. We are the illuminated ones. Not the ones that run the material plane, who are extremely wealthy, and like the people I've flown in my job, the 1%, and they bear lots of Saturn's gifts, and that comes with a high price. It comes with a high price tag, and I've seen it myself. So we are the enlightened ones. So what I'm saying is there are good things about Neptune. I want to tell you that Neptune does bring imagination, creativity, excitement, enthusiasm, rebirth, all sorts of interesting things. The hero's journey. This is good for you. It will, I feel, for those of us that are enlightened, it will only expand us even further, the enlightened ones, as opposed to those on the other downloads that are more connected to the mainstream. Their frequency is different than ours. So for us, we only see this as a good thing. But in the headlines, you're going to see ice out and Antifa related stuff that's related to the currency, and I believe they're going to do some government shutdown, and all I can say is who cares? They just want you to have anxiety and fear and disruption. Nope, we're not going to let it. But it is related to the wheel in the sky, to the zodiac. And so Antifa is, they say a terrorist group and protesting, and I saw a glimpse of something ridiculous and some guy in tattoos, and that's what they want. They want it to look like that because it's all symbolism for those at the top. Language and headlines, these sorts of things, is all symbolism. They do this in Hollywood movies. This is a type of code that these guys speak to each other. A hidden code, hidden message, hidden symbolisms. They love that stuff. And however, we can figure out what it means, and we know what it means. So we know that digital is coming soon, and more takeover. That's why this Greenland stuff is happening and everything with this stellium, which means four conjunct wandering stars, Venus, Mercury, Mars, and the Sun, in Aquarius, which is the age in which we are in. We are in the age of Aquarius. So this was supposed to be a short video, but I wanted to talk to you a little bit more. And it is about the Fiat and Antifa, and I want you to see the relation. And and they want the Fiat, which is cash, out, right? So they want it out. So I think you can get where I'm going with this, and hopefully this will make sense to you. And I will add another video very soon. I don't have much reach because of my controversial topics. And anyway, I hope that if I did reach a few people, that's all that matters. And we look at language, we look at the Zodiac, we see codes, and we get empowered and enlightened by figuring out these codes. So thanks, guys, for listening, and more in the next one. I'd love to see your comments. Thanks.